You're not hearing me. The people aren't hearing me. Hey guys, it's AMAYA-XO. Today I filmed a get ready with me. I'm gonna keep this intro short, quick, straight to the point. We're talking about police brutality, racism. I'm just speaking. I'm not really gonna be showing the products. The only reason why I'm doing my makeup is so that I can have something to calm me down whilst I'm getting riled up about something. But yeah, if you like this video, don't forget to like it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. So, I'm not gonna lie, I thought about making a video on this before, like, since it started, but then I didn't, because I was like, oh, like, my place isn't really social justice. Like, that's just not me. Obviously I like support my people and I don't want to see them being murdered for absolutely no reason, but I just felt like there's so many other people who are better at articulating their words than I am, like my girl Audney. Shout out Audney. She has a new podcast, Looking In. I'm gonna plug the name of it on the screen, and I think I'm gonna put her Instagram and stuff, because she really like I actually look up to her. Like, she knows what she's talking about. She is so educated on the subject, and I feel like I'm so not educated on the subject. That's why, if you're looking for real education on this, you need to go follow her. Give me a second, I need some deodorant. I forgot to put it on this morning. So, to be honest, I have not watched the George Floyd video. I haven't watched the Ahmaud Arbery video, because that's just not, it's for my mental health, because I know that if I watch it, I'm just going to be put in a bad place, because I've been following like Black Lives Matter, and I know it's such like a not necessarily a trend, like I hope it's not, but I've been following it since I was like 12, like when I found out on Tumblr, and I feel like that's where a lot of people find out about Black Lives Matter, like they found out on Tumblr, you know, like I've been following it for a very long time, so it's just exhausting to see Black people being killed every other month, you know, every other year, on video, on camera, you know, the stories. It's just a lot, and I know that if I were to watch it, it would just put me in such a dark place, and I just don't want to be in that headspace. Like, I understand that a lot of people watch it to, actually, I'm not too sure why people watch it. I guess just to know what they do to people. Like, just hearing is enough for me. My mental health, my mental cannot. But I salute those who can, and who can stay in a sane space, but I'm just not one of those people. What we have seen here is just a result of people being tired. Like, come on now, guys, this has been happening. We've been on social media for what? I've been following this since I was 12, so 8 years. This has been happening, like, and it's caught national spread, and even like for Canadians it caught spread too, and I guess it didn't really spread so much all over the world, but you know, it's been 8 years, and it's been, how long has it been? 5, 6, 7 years since Eric Gardner passed. Not necessarily, yeah, since he passed, was murdered by the police officer too, and he said the I Can't Breathe, and I actually have a top that says it, and I went to one of the protests that's in my city, and I wore that top because it says I Can't Breathe, and then it says the Black Lives Matter on the back. And it, like, I've been wearing that top for years since I got it, and it's just so crazy. Like, when I was at the protest on Saturday, today's Monday, I was at the protest on Saturday, a lady came up to me and she was like, oh, where did you get that shirt? And I was like, oh yeah, I've had it for like years now. And she was like, oh, that someone said the same thing that George Floyd said? And I was like, yeah, Eric Gardner. And it's just so crazy because it's been literal years since I've had that top and nothing has changed. And oh my goodness, it's just not me getting teary-eyed. Anyway. And it's just so, it's great to see that people are finally noticing like what it means, because there were years of, oh my, how come you can't breathe? Like, it's because Black Lives Matter. Like, what do you mean? Come on now. It's been years of that, but now I know that if I'm going to go out into the world and wear that top, like, people are going to know exactly what I'm talking about now. And it's just so crazy that I had to come to a full video of someone being murdered by the police. And, like, obviously it wasn't just that. I feel like since there was so many, like, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and then George Floyd, I feel like since all of those happened collectively together in, like, the same sort of time span, and, like, because of the quarantine, people were finally able to, like, see, and, like, you know, no one really has anything better to do but post on social media for right now, so that's why it caught so much fire. But I feel like if not everyone was in quarantine, then it wouldn't have caught as much, you know, as much media presence as it did now. And I'm really glad that, like, obviously quarantine has been hard for a lot of people, you know, I'm not gonna deny that. Like, being with your family 24/7 can definitely take a toll on your mental health, especially if it's a toxic environment. But I'm just kind of grateful that, you know, it finally happened to where people, not just Black people, not just people of color, like, you know, everyone, white people especially, can see what's going on in the world, and how we're not just like speaking out of our asses, you know, like, racism is a real thing. And I feel like for Breonna Taylor in particular, I feel like she didn't get as much, like, I feel like people almost forgot about her. And maybe it's because there wasn't a video when hers came out, like there was, because hers and Ahmaud Arbery's came out around the same time. Their stories started catching, like, the media around the same time. So I don't know if it's because, you know, there wasn't a video for Breonna, like, why it didn't catch as much. But honestly, I feel like it's because she's a woman, and that's just something in its own, you know, like, a lot of people don't advocate for Black women, and I feel like that's a really big issue. Like, a few days ago, Breonna Taylor's, her GoFundMe, I think their goal was 300,000 or something like that, and they're only at 100,000. But in the same time, George Floyd had gained like $3 million, and I think it's the same for Ahmaud. And I remember on Twitter, it was like, come on guys, like, how are you gonna just give to one and not give to the other, you know? And so it took someone to say, like, hello, please don't forget about the woman who was literally murdered in her sleep. Her sleep. That's how you know it's like a wicked world. Like, how do you kill someone when they're just sleeping? What? That doesn't make... Anyway. But yeah, you know, she didn't catch as much buzz on the media, and I honestly feel like it's because she's a woman, and I feel like there's a lot of people who don't advocate for Black women like they do for Black men, and that's an issue. Being a Black woman is very, very difficult, because not only does the rest of the world, like being a Black person is difficult in general, period. The world hates Black people. Like, that's just a fact. It's not, I'm sorry. It's just a fact. Like, there's no denying that. The world literally hates Black people. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if you're white or if you're a person of color. There's always something wrong with a Black person, and it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. But as a Black woman, it's like the world is against you, and then Black men are against you too. So it's like, who do Black women have? Who do we have? We only have ourselves. That's you. And it sucks, but that's just the reality of being a Black woman. Like, no one cares. Point blank, period. And that's just it. Like, when the world hates Black people and Black men hate Black women, like, who else do we have? Who? No one. But that's like another thing, you know? Like, that's something else to talk about. But yeah, racism in general still exists, especially in Canada. Like, I know a lot of people don't think that racism exists in Canada. Like, the GTA is a little bit better than some of the other places, but you know, there's still some terrible people out there. Please don't get it twisted. Like, I remember, and I'm pretty sure I know this happened to one of my friends too. Like, people get so mad driving. Like, okay, fine, road rage is a thing, that's no issue. But you don't have to call me the N-word when you get mad. Like, that happened to, I remember my mom and I were driving. I think it was my first time taking the car out, and it was like I was making a left turn, and I was driving a stick shift, right? So that was like one of my first times driving stick, and I was trying to make a left turn. So you could imagine I was in the left turning lane for a really long time. And this person behind me is getting mad at me because I'm not turning left. And it's like, okay, get mad. Like, obviously, like, I understand. But you know, it's my first time driving. Why? And so my mom's starting to like yell at him because he's honking. And my mom's like, go around, you know, like the blinkers are on and stuff like that. And so finally he's like honking. Finally he like goes around us and he's like, oh, you N-word, rah, rah, rah. And my mom's like, what the F is wrong with you? My daughter is learning to drive. And it's like, why is it that people resort to calling Black people the N-word when they get mad? Like, it just doesn't connect in my mind. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, come up with something new, okay? Something new, please. Anything new. Get more creative. You don't have to call me that, please. And the same thing happened to my friend the other day. I'm pretty sure she was driving and the same thing happened to her mom and her. Why are you calling me the N-word? So yeah, like, racism still very much exists, and that was just in my little small town. Please. So, it's just so tiring. It's so tiring being a Black person. It's so tiring being a Black woman. That's just it. And there is a lot of people who use the N-word that are not black, and it's like, and it's, you know what? I understand if you use it and you're not black. I understand if you use it and like, you know, you grew up in that area and all your friends said it and like they were fine with you saying it, and you come to the real world now. You're not just stuck to your little friends. You're on social media. You're around new people, and a black person comes up to you and they're like, yeah, yo, like, why are you saying that? You shouldn't be saying that. Your response shouldn't be, oh, well, you know, I grew up saying it, blah, 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 blah. Why can't I say it? You shouldn't be getting defensive. If a black person comes up to you and tells you to stop using it, the least you could do is stop using it when they're around. You're not hearing me. The people aren't hearing me. The least you could do is to stop using it while they're around. That is the least you could do. Someone in my school got in a fight, her saying the N-word. She said, don't stop saying that. And he goes, why? Why are you questioning a black person as to why you should stop saying a racial slur? Does that make sense? Like, what? Why are you questioning people? And then he got his shit rocked because that's what he deserved. That's just that. Like, just stop. If a black person says stop using it, then just stop using it. Simple. You don't have to get defensive. That's not something to get defensive about. Say sorry and move on. Say sorry, I won't do it again. And move on with your life. That's it. There's no need to get defensive. Please. So, moving past that and how racism is still very much a thing, especially in Canada, let's go to ways that you can help. You can start by listening to black people. If they say stop, stop. It's that simple, really and truly. Like, it just doesn't get any easier than that. It really doesn't. I'm sorry. If black people say stop, then stop. Like, period. The second thing you can do, which, like, you know, open your purse, like, donate some money. Give to the Freedom Fund, give to Black Lives Matter, give to, I don't know, families whose family member has been brutally murdered by the police. You could give to them, you know. There's a lot of things you can donate to. I will leave, I don't know if I can do a card, but I'll leave something in the description box that, like, it's like a whole thing, and it gives places where you can sign petitions, you can donate, you can send emails. It gives so much. Please do it. The next thing you can do is you can try having a conversation with your friends and your family who are racist and who are prejudiced, because I know there's a lot of people who think, oh, I'm not racist. No, yes, you are. Okay. So if you want to consider yourself an ally to black people, I need you to go and have those conversations with your other non-black friends and say what you're saying is wrong. Stop saying it, period. And if they need an explanation why, explain it to them and explain why it's wrong. You can go to protests. You know, I don't know. I think the protests are kind of starting to die down a little bit, but I'm sure, like, I hope this is the first and the last time we have to do this, you know? I heard that this is the biggest civil rights movement in the world is what I've heard. I don't know how credible that is, but it's nice to think. So you can go to protests. You know, you can post on your social media. There's a lot of things floating around now. Black businesses you can buy from, you can support. There's a lot of black influencers you can support. There's a lot of tips to know why you should stop like using the N-word, or why you should listen to Black people. You know, there's a lot of things what you can do as an ally if you're white, if you're South Asian. You know, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of resources online and especially on social media that you can go to, and that can help you if you're still confused. Stop asking Black people. I saw this on Twitter. They're like, stop asking Black people to explain it to you. This is me looking at my watch. It's 2020. Look it up. Yeah, like, these are some things that you can do. It really and truly all starts with you, and Black people have been fighting this fight for a very, 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 very long time, and I'm glad that the media has finally picked this up so that it's not just us fighting, but we have people who can do more change, aka white people, who can do more change than we can, because a lot of people don't like listening to Black people. So there's only so much a Black person can do if we're just keeping it real. It's about time that white people come in and they actually do something with their privilege. That's another thing. Acknowledge your privilege, whether you're white or any other person of color, you know, like, I need you to acknowledge it. That'd be great. And I'm not saying that, you know, everybody goes through, we all have our struggles as people of color. Like, please don't get that twisted. Like, of course we do. But like I said in the beginning, everyone hates Black people. That's just the reality. That's just it. That's just the reality of the world. I'm sorry. And you know, there's a lot of things that I need to do better too. Like, I need to start purchasing more from Black businesses. I need to start supporting Black businesses more. I've been trying, you know. You need to listen to some Black podcasts. Watch some Black movies. Support a Black movie, you know? Something else that we need to realize is that just in movies and like Hollywood in general, not everything needs to be like a sob story. You know, like not every movie needs to be surrounded by a Black person being murdered by the police or slavery. Not every movie needs to include that. Please. Like, Black people deserve a coming of age movie, and we deserve it from this year, like this century, you know, like this decade. We deserve it. But yeah, like, you know, I need to start looking into things. I need to start reading things that make me uncomfortable, because I'm not gonna lie, some of this stuff do make me feel uncomfortable. It's hard, even as a Black person, to read about what Black people have been through. It's difficult. It's hard. Okay? If it's hard for me, I can imagine it'd be hard for someone who isn't Black. I can understand that. But it's just something that we all need to do. We just need to be better as a human race. Like, Black people deserve more. People of color deserve more. Indigenous people deserve more. You know, we all deserve more, and it starts with educating yourself. These are things that we can all do to just be better people. But yeah, that's just it. Like, this is honestly what the world needed, and I'm glad that it happened very late, but better late than never, you know. So I'm glad that, you know, it's starting to pick up in not just Black areas, but in all areas, you know. We love to see it, honestly. And yeah, like, you know, if you've been posting about it, if you've been having those tough conversations, you know, then I salute you. If you have always been an ally, thank you. And if you are educating yourself about the things that Black people go through on a regular basis, not just in the US, not just in Canada, but like all over the world, then I appreciate it. Yeah, that's literally, I think that's all I wanted to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can follow me on social media. I'll put them here. And it'll also be at the end of this video as well. And I've been posting a lot of my stories. I retweet a lot of stuff on Twitter. So, yeah. Bye.